So this is how the application works. First, you load into the website, and then you can press begin. And then you can select a frame that you want to use and press start camera. Then you press allow to allow the website to have permission to access the camera, and then a live feed of your camera will be put into here with the frame overlaid on top. Then what you can do is that you can technically press take photo, and then it will play an animation. And once that animation is being played, what you can do is that you can share this with friends and family on social media. And then once you share it, you can also have an option to press restart, and then you can select another frame and try it, right? So for example, start camera, and then I can switch the camera as well, and then take a photo, the same animation is being played, and then after that I can also share it. And if you're interested in something like this, keep watching and I'll share with you how I was able to use AI to create all of this. Let's get started. So do you know that the Get Jinx video that introduced us to Jinx actually came out 11 years ago? So let me share a little bit about my story with Riot Games and also League of Legends. I personally have been playing League of Legends since high school, and now I'm in my 30s, so it's actually a lot of years ago. And I'm actually a huge fan of Arcane, and one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is that Arcane 2 is coming out. And I'm sure you noticed that behind here, I actually have the sculpture from Arcane 1. I'm the proud owner of number 665 out of 2,500 in the world. Super huge fan, so I wanted to share my experience of creating a photo booth with the help of AI, and also how AI could be used in a responsible way to create things that you won't be able to do before in the past. I'm not a programmer. All of this is with the help of AI and also having some fundamental knowledge. So now going back to this whole experience of this photo booth, I wanted to show you the tools that I was able to use to create this photo booth, my thought process. And another reason why I created a photo booth is that recently Meta decided to phase out support for Spark AR. Spark AR is something that you can use to create AR filters on the Meta platform like Facebook and Instagram. So in 2025, they're no longer going to support it. So I thought to myself, okay, I want to take up the challenge to try to create a website where people can have like a photo booth frame, take photos of it, and then share it on social media, share it with their friends. It is really important to have things like this because I have been helping NGOs in the past, on a pro bono basis to create photo frames for the events. So this is also one of the motivations why I decided to do this photo booth. Another one is that in the past I have been applying to League of Legends actually since university. What I did is that in university I used the League of Legends UI to create a cover letter. I actually got an interview back then, but I didn't get in. I actually did a marketing proposal when Wild Rift was entering the China market. I submitted that. Didn't really get an interview opportunity, but I reached out to the hiring manager on LinkedIn. He decided to, share with me his thoughts on the report. Also recently, when I was working in an agency, I was very fortunate to be able to work on the esports component of Riot Games. And that was a very interesting experience. So Riot Games or other gaming companies, if you're watching this and if you're interested in how my creative tech skills could be used, feel free to reach out to me. It will be an honor to at least have a conversation with you. So the things that I use for this is a few tools mainly. The first one is I actually have a website. The second one is I have used pro.com to basically generate the foundations of the website. And the third one is I definitely use Photoshop and also Photoshop's Gen AI abilities. So that's pretty much the tools that I've used. One thing that I wanted you to know that this is really not a step-by-step tutorial, okay? This is really about telling you the tools that I use, and hopefully this experience is able to empower you to create your own photo booth and also to really express the passion towards a certain subject matter. So the first thing I did is I actually went to pro.com and used Claude 3.5 Sonnet to help to create this foundation of this website. And the reason why I'm using pro.com is that here in Hong Kong, there's a lot of large language models that you cannot use, so I'll have to use a platform like this. So what I did is that I went to Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and one thing that you have to be aware of is that you actually have to spend points per message, so you have to use sparingly. When I was doing this project, it's not just one prompt and it generates the whole thing. There's a lot of back and forth. So I can kind of tell you that during the time when I was creating this photo booth, it took me like 2 weeks of non-stop prompting and also troubleshooting. The first thing I did is that I told Claude that I want to create a website application. You need to know what you want to create, right? It will be using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I want to create this website application. It will be using this, and I'll tell Claude is that it will be a photo booth. And I have to explain to Claude what I want, where the user selects photo frames and take a photo. the application will then overlay the photo frames on top of the user's photo. So it could be as simple as that, and you press enter. And then what Claude 3.5 Sonnet will do is it generates the whole code. So for me, I'm not a programmer myself, I'm not a web developer, but I was able to look at the code and to really understand and learn throughout my whole process of creating this photo booth of what the codes are doing. It also adds comments, so it adds comments to your code, so you can kind of have an idea, even though you do not fully understand it, you can have an idea of what is happening. If it does not add comments, you can prompt it as well and say, oh, please add comments to the different sections of the code. So now it basically generates a virtual photo booth. So what you can do is you can open this as a new tab, and then it's actually a UI that's working and take photo, but it's not fully working. So you have to keep prompting with Claude 3.5 saying that the code is not working. Also, I want the UI and UX to look nice. You can import fonts from Google Fonts. So you have to keep prompting it, and then for me, for my experience, sometimes the code is too big. I'll have to copy and paste the whole code. So what I did is I had a notepad, I copy and paste this in the notepad, I save it as index.html, double click on it, and then I found out, this is not working, and I go back here and I paste the code and say, hey, this part is not working. So there's a lot of back and forth. So using AI isn't like a shortcut, but instead it should be a tool that really empowers you. Let's look at the code, okay, while the AI is generating. So you look at the code, what happened is that, I have the style sheet. Basically, all of this declares okay, how does the website, in terms of the style will look like, the button when it's being hovered, how does it look like, and so on, right? And then here on the body of the website, I have to put the preloaded. And then I also actually have to show, the buttons and also the legal privacy policy stuff on the body of the website. And then basically, I also add a function where when the people take a picture, it will play a video on the screen. So that's how you get Jinx shooting her rocket launcher. So that's the body. And then you also have this JavaScript session. Basically, I have a JavaScript to allow people to, when they begin, they can select the frame, they can start the camera, and then they can switch the camera and take a photo. And then once that happens, it merges the lower image of the user's photo and then also the PNG of the user's frame. And then once that image is ready, they can press the share button that actually just copies the photo, and then they can paste it in other social media platforms. And then they can also restart the experience. So that's basically the whole function of the website and the logic of the website. Basically what I did is that I had this idea, I have the thought of the different steps that the user had to go through, and then once I have all of the different steps that the user could go through, I prompt it with the AI and I just keep fine-tuning everything. Going back to the code that Claude has generated. They generated a fancy photo booth. Press new tab to just test it out and see, there's these UIs that are working, right? And then basically these are imported from Google Fonts because I asked it to import it from Google Fonts, right? Yeah, it's not importing a font here, buttons. One thing that I was able to make the experience close to League of Legends experience is that I was able to understand the brand guidelines. There's actually a website called Riot Games where they want to put all the different type of brand guidelines related to the different IPs. I highly recommend you that if you are interested in gaming IP, brand management, to check out this website. It's actually very nicely done. And then I was able to find out that the title font is using real font, okay? And then for the body font is Sphere font. And then I was able to find the link of these fonts so that I can import it like a Google font. So let me show you how it works. So these are the style sheets of where the fonts are, right? I can copy this and then go to here and say, hey, I want to use these League of Legends fonts for the photo booth, right? And I just paste it there. And then technically what happens is that Claude 3.5 will say, okay, I'll update the design of this based on the League of Legends aesthetic, and then it just generates the whole thing. But it's definitely not that simple. There's a lot of optimization, fine-tuning stuff, especially when it comes to the functions. Sometimes what will happen is that Claude will just generate the style sheet and did not generate the JavaScript, so that the functionality of the website is not working. So you kind of have to check it out, right? You have to do a lot of optimization. So now after adding the official fonts here, Claude 3.5 basically generated this code, right? So sometimes it does not show on the preview here, so you have to press new tab. You have to allow all because it's using an external resource, which is the CSS from League of Legends, so you have to press allow all. And then voila, it's very League of Legends UI and UX driven. And imagine if I was able to change the background to summoners with a wallpaper. So there's a lot of functions that's not included here, so that you have to do. Yeah, this is really on the coding aspect, the foundation website aspect. There's also the art aspect. When I was working on this, I did a Google search on Arcane 2. And then I was actually inspired. I saw this really nice background of the different characters. So I prompt AI using the link of the background. Hey, please use this as a background. And the AI was able to put that as a background so you can see it as a background element. The background is using technically this background. What happened was that I saw this poster, and then what I did is I want to use this poster to create a frame overlaying the user's face like this. I actually used Photoshop for this. So what I did is that this is the original image. So basically I used the quick select tool and I just draw the fingers, right? But the thing is, in the past, without generative AI, it would be so hard to replicate the other fingers, right? Because technically I only have 3 fingers on the side. So I was able to use AI to generate this part of the fingers. And then I saved this as a PNG and asked AI to, okay, here's the frame number 1, here's frame number 2. For frame number 2, I was actually inspired by the teaser. When I was watching the teaser, I saw this really cool scene. This scene of Powder becoming Jinx, and then, oh wow, you have this scene. So what I did is I went to Photoshop, I got this frame, crop it, and then just kind of upscale it a little bit. Use Gen AI to remove the text in the bottom, edit my own text with something that looks similar, and then use overlay on the text, save this as a PNG. You know, to create something like this, you need to have fundamental knowledge. You can't just be like, okay, I'm using Gen AI to generate images and stuff like that, and therefore I'm an expert at this. No, you need to have fundamental knowledge of, oh, I actually know how to use Photoshop. So if AI were able to do something but unable to do something else, I will be able to use my skills to fix that. At the same time, you also need to have that skill of, okay, you know, I'm not a pure coder, but with AI, I'm able to use AI to help me complement some of the things that I might not know. All of this coming together is able to create this fan-made photo booth. One of the biggest takeaway that I wanted to share with you is that when you use AI, one thing you need to know is that, okay, I want to, first of all, know what I want to do. Once you have an idea of what you want to do, you need to know how to send that to the AI through different prompts, like talking to a person. And you have to be patient. You have to keep prompting it. You have to keep experimenting it. And then after doing that, you will be able to elevate what you do into the next level. So I do understand the use of AI is very controversial within the gaming community, but I hope that this video is able to offer you another point of view on how you can use AI to really empower what you do. It's not just a tool to help you shorten your time to do something or just generate an image and call yourself an artist, because it doesn't really work that way. But one of the things that I found about AI and the beauty of AI is that it really helps empower you to do more. For example, in the past, I wouldn't have been able to do this website, but because I have that fundamental knowledge, that skill set, I'm able to use that to elevate what I do. I hope this really does inspire you. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe, or just follow me. And thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate that.